Around the World in 80 Days. Chapter 7, The Mongolia. The telegram that Detective Fix sent to Scotland Yard had an instant effect on opinion in London. Suddenly, Phileas Fogg was no longer an eccentric rich man who had accepted a wager to travel around the world. Now he was a suspected gentleman bank robber. Betting on his grand adventures ceased, and his name was dropped from the betting books. Instead, his name filled the papers as speculation grew about his connection to the theft of the £55,000. Mr. Fogg, oblivious to the telegram or any news at home, was focused just on his goal. In fact, after breakfast, and while Passepartout was shopping for necessities in Suez, Mr. Fogg went to see the captain of the Mongolia.
"My good sir,"
began Mr. Fogg,
"may I have a word with you regarding our voyage to Bombay?"
"I can speak with you only briefly, sir, as we are set to sail in less than an hour,"
said the captain.
"What I have to say is brief,"
replied Mr. Fogg.
"I am in a great hurry and would be obliged if you could reach Bombay in the shortest time possible. In fact, I am willing to offer you a considerable sum if you arrive in Bombay more than a day ahead of schedule."
The captain was surprised by Mr. Fogg's request, but had no trouble agreeing to make haste. When Passepartout returned to the Mongolia shortly before it set sail, Mr. Fogg was waiting for him. Detective Fix was also on board, planning Mr. Fogg's arrest. The detective hoped that the warrant for Mr. Fogg would be ready when the boat arrived in Bombay. After passing through the famous canal at Suez, the Mongolia entered the Red Sea. Winds from the African coast made the waves boisterous, and many passengers speedily disappeared below deck. As he watched the wind and the billowing waves, was Phileas Fogg anxious about the steamer's progress? As calmly as if he were sitting in his reform club, he passed through the Red Sea with indifference. When the weather calmed, he did not view the historic villages on the coast. The Mongolia plowed on into the Arabian Sea, and he paid no attention. He ate 4 hearty meals a day, slept soundly every night, and passed his time playing whist with other enthusiastic card players like himself. Passepartout, however, thoroughly enjoyed watching the scenery. He spent hours every day lounging on the deck and taking in his surroundings. He ate his meals in the forward cabin. It was there one day where he spotted the obliging person with whom he had talked in Suez.
"If I am not mistaken,"
Passepartout said, approaching Detective Fix,
"you are the gentleman who kindly helped me in Suez."
"Ah, I recognize you. Yes, you are the servant of the unusual Englishman,"
said Fix with a smile.
"Exactly, monsieur."
said Passepartout.
"Fix. My name is Fix."
"Monsieur Fix, I am charmed to meet you. Where are you bound?"
asked Passepartout.
"Like you, to Bombay,"
replied Fix.
"Splendid! I have just finished my lunch,"
said Passepartout as he reached into his pocket and pulled out his large silver watch.
"It is now 1 o'clock. Would you like to walk around the deck with me?"
"Yes, I would. But your watch does not tell the right time, sir. It is slow,"
said Fix.
"My watch? It is a family watch.
said Passepartout.
It has come down to me from my great-grandfather. It doesn't vary 5 minutes in a year. It's a perfect timepiece."
"I see,"
said Fix.
"I believe you have kept London time, which is 2 hours behind that of the Suez. You should regulate your watch at noon in each country."
"Regulate my watch?
asked Passepartout.
Never."
"Well then, it will not agree with the sun,"
said Fix.
"That is a problem for the sun, monsieur."
And with a defiant gesture, Passepartout returned his watch to his pocket. Fix decided to change the subject and in the most casual tone asked,
"Is Mr. Fogg getting on well?"
"Quite well.
said Passepartout.
And I am too. It must be the sea air. I am eating like a famished giant."
Fix smiled, and their amiable conversation continued with innocent topics. During the crossing, Fix and Passepartout got into the habit of meeting and chatting regularly. Fix often offered Passepartout a whiskey or beer in the steamer's bar, and Passepartout never failed to accept his generosity. The Mongolia was due in Bombay on October 22nd, but it arrived on October 20th. So Mr. Fogg had gained 2 days, which he calmly entered in his travel journal after paying the captain his reward. Fix, however, was not as happy. As soon as the ship docked, Fix hastily made his way to the local police station in search of the warrant for Fogg. But being 2 days ahead of schedule, he knew the chances of finding it waiting for him were slim.
As you just read, Mr. Fogg and I arrived in Bombay, India. Now you might be wondering why British police were in India. That's because India is a British colony. A colony is a country controlled by another country. Many powerful European countries have colonies in the Americas, Asia, and Africa. The main reason Britain has established colonies is so it can profit through trade. India has many spices, teas, and grains that are sold in Europe for 6,000 times the price they cost in India. In fact, India is so profitable, it's called the jewel in the crown of the British Empire. There has been a lot of resistance to British rule in India. Many Indians are very poor. But Britain maintains its control with its very powerful army.